Buon pomeriggio a tutti, benvenuti. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. We are live with the Faculty Council. So we have the representative for the Faculty Council, Marco Lecchi for BLab, and Francesco Totti for team. So today is the first debate of a series for each committee. And now we are live with the EleBocconi2021, but we will have later a resume by Leoni if you miss it. And if you are now online, you can see it as well later registered. So as we said, we are live with the Faculty Council. We are gonna leave 30 seconds each candidate to present itself and to say whatever he wants to say. So first, randomly, we're gonna do randomly, so I randomize. So first, Marco Lecchi, go.
Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks to EleBocconi2021 for the debate. I'm Marco Lecchi. I'm from Milan. I'm 22 years old, and I'm first year of marketing management, in which I am also class representative and course representative. It's been 2 years now that I was elected in the academic council for the Bocconi University, and I'm also student representative in the regional committee for the coordination of the University of Lombardy. I have a strong passion on video making, and this brought me to open a YouTube channel where I share my passions and my academic life to the people that follows me, and that I help them build, and I help them by building a strong community in which we connect the students of the high school with the Bocconi world in this great family. And it's a pleasure to have been part of the great family of BLab in these 2 years. So we achieved a lot of goals, and I'm ready to recandidate for the Collegio dei Docenti, the Faculty Council, for the next elections.
Perfect. Thank you, Marco, and then let's go, Francesco.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. Thanks for hosting the debate. And I'm Francesco Totti. I come from Sanremo in Liguria. I'm a third-year best student, and for the past year, I've been a representative to the CASA committee and recently also to the Department of Marketing. My passions are very varied, and they include both sports and other activities. I'm fond of politics, and for such a reason, I think that BES is a very nice course for my participation. Let me spend a couple of words about Team Bocconi, which is my representative association, in which I entered almost 3 years ago when I first arrived in Bocconi. And so we are a student representative association, and we aim at improving the university experience for our students. On top of what an association normally does, we, in the sense that our representatives and our members, they work together to report issues to the university to try to find a solution for these issues. We try to focus as much as possible on long-term goals, long-term needs. And we believe that focusing on these needs and these long-term goals, we can foster a sense of community and belonging, which are necessary in particular in these dire times. And we still believe in, okay.
Oh, sorry. No, let's go just because we have taken too much time. Sorry for interrupting you, but you can continue later. Okay, so I want to start with the first question. So the first question is, we have read all your programs. So the first question is that you both talk about an important issue, that is the application, UATB application, in particular the mobile one, and in particular on the help and contact matter. So what's the thing you want to change in it, how you want to change it, and why you want to change it? So now let's start with Francesco, and then let's go with Marco.
Okay, perfect. Our proposals in this regard is twofold. On the one hand, we want to modify the mobile app to make it native mobile and not to make it a sort of copy of the website, so that it's more efficient and fast, so that we don't have to waste time hoping for it works, trying to find the calendars, etc. And on the other end, we want to act on the help and contact, as they are sometimes very slow in answering to our questions. And we want to do it by creating a sort of bot which can answer some questions, so that the offices are less overcharged with questions, and they can answer in a shorter time to what we really need to know, and so to more serious questions. And let's see it towards our program for this.
Okay, thank you. So Marco now.
Okay, perfect. There is a lot to say about ULB, because we know that it's a very important touch point for all the students and the technology in Bocconi. So we think that the ULB needs a real reorganization, both in internal communication and both also in the structure of the app. So we think it's important to reorganize the message received on ULB divided by topics. Also, we would like to bring some calendars improvement with, for example, the name of the course and the notification when a room or a schedule of a lesson change. Also, we would like to improve the helping contact inside, his structure, his way of to receive the answer from the offices. For example, receiving a more quick response, and also to set it more as a chat instead of just a question and an answer after 1 day or more, or even more sometimes. And of course, we are already discussing with the university to improve the StudySeats app.
Great, thank you. I'm taking your time. You had 2 minutes. I didn't point it out, but you know that you had 2 minutes and you were perfectly on time, so I didn't stop you anywhere. Now, if you want, you have 30 seconds to say something to the other candidate. If you have something to say, if you want to point it out something, or not, well, we proceed with the other question.
I think we can proceed.
Okay,
because...
I go?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Okay, great. I go every time. If you have something to respond to the other candidate, just tell me and we will take the 30 seconds. So now, let's move to another theme, another topic, completely different topic. So you both talk a lot about diversity and inclusion, and you both have a lot of points on this theme. So we have read, for example, HIV testing or gender-neutral bathrooms, or either Milano Pride. So if you want to tell me something about what the list is gonna propose, why, and why you think is important. So now we'll start with Marco, and let's go with Francesco then. So Marco, go.
Okay, of course, Bilab.
I think your time, it's again 2 minutes, sorry.
Yeah, of course, Bilab is very involved in terms of attention to diversity and inclusion, as you can tell also by international students that are candidated to the different boards. And we propose in our electoral program the patronage of the Pride, which Bocconi nowadays is not part of it, and we think it's very important. Also, talking about languages and inclusion of international students, we would like to have staff which is prepared to follow international students with bureaucratic procedures, and the possibility of the evaluation of the language skills of the professors during the final service, since we know that not all the professors nowadays are well prepared on the English skills, and we want to give the student the possibility to express on this matter.
Great. Now, Francesco, you can go.
Yeah, sure. In Team Bocconi, we really care about diversity, and so we decided to include as many points as possible about diversity, trying to touch as many issues as possible. We devoted 2 points towards issues related to transgender and non-binary people, such as the alias study plan and gender-neutral bathrooms. We also wanted Bocconi to take part into diversity initiatives, and so the inclusion of a sort of Diversity Week, like it's already done by Bicocca University. And then we move towards more classical themes, such as HIV prevention and in general sexually transmissible diseases prevention, also thanks to free screenings and awareness raising campaigns. We really believe that these actions can be a way for Bocconi to move towards a more international sort of standards, and that we really need. Thank you.
Great. You have something to say to the other?
I think we can proceed on this matter.
Yeah.
Great. So now another important topic, which is health and in general mental health. Most of all, I've read that both of your lists have told something about psychologists and the convention that Bocconi has. We know that Bocconi has some conventions, but you both mentioned, so how we're gonna change it? There's gonna be something different from what is now. Why, and whatever you wanna add to this theme. So now let's start with Francesco and then Marco.
Yeah, sure. So we presented a month ago a report to Professor De Vries, which is the Dean for Diversity and Inclusion, regarding some matters of health in Bocconi. And we pointed out that regarding to mental health, there are some very good things that are already done by Bocconi, such as the counseling service, which need, however, to be improved and implemented also with other types of services. For instance, we want the counseling to be improved so that it can include also other types of counseling, not only related to academic matters, as it's the case for the moment, but we want it also to cover other non-academic matters. And then we want Bocconi to start convention and partnerships with psychological health centers to offer these services at a price below the market one. And these are the two main points. We know, of course, that Bocconi offers many group projects, I would say, for instance, courses for time management, etc. And we know that they are very good, but sometimes they're not offered both in Italian and in English. And we want really to stress that these courses should be offered in both languages so that they can be open to all the students of Bocconi.
Great, thank you. Marco?
Yeah, we have an important point on this topic, which is called Care at B. And we want university to provide psychological support also for inconveniences that are not directly related to studies. In particular, we think that the dialogue is the most important thing in such important topic. So we would like to have a hotline for cases of extreme necessity, and to help also international and non-resident of Lombardy to have facilitated to get the service of psychological support more easily, and Bocconi should provide also the connection between the two parts. So these are the points that we want to bring.
Thank you, Marco. I want to remind everybody who's live on YouTube that you can make questions. You can just tap in the chat, and we are gonna ask them to our candidates. So moving on, I have another important theme you both mentioned, and that is.
We're losing Giada.
Yeah, same.
I'm sorry, we have some technical issues with Giada. I'll proceed and ask another question about, let's say, are you there?
No. She's no more there. Oh, yeah. No,
do you hear me?
Yeah, we hear.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Sorry, it's it's connecting issue. I was saying, I hope everybody heard me when I was saying for live people they can put questions, and I will ask to our candidates here. And I was saying, let's move to one other important issue, which is green and all the matter of creating a green campus. So what do you think you will do with your list and as a candidate to make our campus more green and for environment in general, we can say? So now let's start with Marco and let's go with Francesco.
Okay, as you know, there are different topics about the green during the past 2 years achieved by Lab. One of them is the plastic-free campus. We would like in the next two years to have a more paperless campus, and the possibility to use more the bottles for the dispenser that already are inside our campus. So we think these are two important aspects. Also, plastic in the canteen is still present, so we can work on that, definitely.
Great, Marco. And now Francesco.
Perfect. Although we tried also with our last elections electoral program to have a greener campus, due to COVID, this was not directly possible. For such a reason, we are now presenting some new points that I think can be easily achievable and can have a direct impact on the environment. First of all, we want printing machines all around the university to work with recycled paper, and this could have a direct effect on the environment. Then we want the library and all the other Bocconi buildings to be more energetically efficient. For instance, in the library, people often forget, I'm the first one who does that, we often forget the lights open in the study seat, and this is not good for the environment. And then we want to increase the number of smoking areas all around our campus so that people don't go outside the campus to smoke and then they leave the cig butt on the ground outside the campus, which is not environmentally friendly.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to go back to the main issue, so to university in general, like study seats. So about study seats, they recently introduced innovations about booking, most of all. But what you wanna do about booking? You wanna change something? How you wanna change it? And also about the timing. I mean, timing of study places, study room, mattering regarding these things. So now let's gonna start with Marco and then with Francesco.
Okay, we already opened a dialogue with university concerning the study seats app, since we were included in the table with Engineer Grassi concerning this matter. We would like to have the possibility to book a longer break for lunch, for example, and better efficiency in the controls, since the students are not yet aware deeply on the fact that they have to stop the reservation, and sometimes they keep their seats occupied while they are gone yet. So we would like to sensibilize more the students. And talking also about study seats in general, we want to bring a point that we would like strongly, which is the study seat 24/7, as we thought for the bunker when we achieved it years ago. We would like to have a study seats place 24/7, open 24/7, and to improve the app and the crash, and of course all the bug and fix them. But we're already talking with the university about this topic.
Great. Now Francesco.
Yeah, I want to say that we aim, of course, as I was saying before, to improve both the USB app and study seat functionality within the app, so that it can be easier, it can be more customable. You can decide directly how much time you want to sit, as when you arrive, you know it, and at the moment it's not possible to decide it. And we want, of course, to increase the opening times of the different buildings, of the different study areas, and we would like to have a central place, a sort of central page where you can find all the opening times of the different buildings, of the all the open rooms. Sometimes people don't know that in Leoni there are rooms open for studying, normal classrooms. And so we want them to be included all in a same page so that it's more efficient for students.
Great. You've been both really on time, and actually you have more time. So I wanna add 2 questions. So I'm gonna have 2 minutes for each of you to say something you haven't said about your list, to say your main points if you wanna re-say them, or your main points actually, and then another 2 minutes to say something, ask something about the other, or say something you wanna point out about the other in general, or something you heard now, something you knew, whatever. I mean, you knew about the program. Yeah. So let's go, Francesco, with the main points of your list, something you haven't said, whatever.
Yeah, let me briefly begin with what I was finishing to say before. And so that in team, we were born 4 years ago, but we still believe in the ideas which are included in our statute and that still guide our activities, that are participation, equality, and democracy. And our program for the Faculty Council somehow resembles these ideas. And among our topics, you mentioned many of them during the debate. I just want to point out another topic which was not touched, which is free pads, or well, pads offered at a price below the market one in the women toilets all around the university. And I think that this is a very, very good point of our list. But anyway, let me just say that our program can be described by 3 words: diverse, green, and open to everybody. And I think that I explained why it's green, open to everybody, and diverse during the debate. And so that's it. Thanks.
Great. Now, Marco, you can say something about your list, your main points.
Okay, sure. I would like to talk a little bit more about some key points of our electoral program, which I think are fundamental and very important. And the first one is concerning teaching, which we would like to have more flexibility on the attending student status, which could be considered as attending not only basing on the presence in the classroom, but with the participation in assignment and group works, and to have more practical courses. More practical courses based on software that are actually used in the real world, for example, for accounting, and to have a flexible teaching after COVID. Since during the pandemic, we had the opportunity to have the recorded lessons. It's of course impossible to keep the lesson recorded for everyone, because we already asked the university, and we know that it is impossible for university, but for some cases, special cases, and for example, for the most complex subjects, when they are approved by the course committee, the lessons, we would like to keep it recorded for the students. And another thing that we think it's great also for the students that was highlighted by this pandemic was the possibility of have a single space for a single person, for a one person space to do the video calls with phone booths that are already present inside some great firms, some companies, and it's basically a phone booth where you can have a video call by yourself. And also one thing that the last thing that I would like to introduce in the structure is the relax room, with the possibility of have couches, music, board games, since university should be place where to meet friends and colleagues, and not only stay on hard studies.
Okay, great. Since you mentioned COVID and faculty includes also the committee, the discipline committee, I wanted to ask you something about the COVID. So when there was COVID, so in this whole year maybe, there have been lots of problems about people people having problems and troubles about, for example, attendance or the new backups procedures. So what's your position on that, and what do you think about it, and what's your position in general? Now let's start with Marco and then Francesco.
Yeah, of course, it's a very difficult situation, not only for students and also for universities, since the university has faced a big problem, which is student safety and the freedom to behave as it was before. And sometimes there were really strict rules because of the pandemic, but and sometimes the students were affected by this. I tried to always put inside the discussion the centrality of the student with other student representatives like Francesco Scorza Buccia, that is the current student representative in the disciplinary committee. And we always have had a dialogue with the university and with the students.
Great. Now, Francesco.
It's anyway, as I was saying before, it's a very complicated time because on the one hand, there's the will to go back to university, to go back to normal. But anyway, we are still in the middle of the pandemic. And so there are anyway some rules, some procedures that needs to be followed. Bocconi tried its best to stay open as much as possible, although sometimes it took some decisions which were too protective on the one hand. Anyway, we need to be happy because we tried to be on campus as much as possible, whereas other universities couldn't do the same. And so we need to be happy for that. Anyway, I think that COVID and in this period, the universities open more than ever towards change, towards hearing from us. Although at the beginning, it can look the opposite. We have room for pushing for greater goals and for our objectives. So.
Great. So now, as I said before, I wanted to ask you, both of you, if you have something to ask to the other candidate or something to say or to point out about what the other candidate said. So now let's start with Francesco. Do you have something to ask, to say about what Marco and obviously B-Lab is proposing for?
No, I don't have to ask that many things, but just a quite random question to you. Don't take it too personally, but do you think that you could try to push your proposal a little bit farther, or not? Because anyway, they seem quite not normal, but sort of plain vanilla. You have very good ideas on some topics, but it can be sometimes that it's quite plain vanilla for some other topics.
Okay, we think particularly the strong points that I think B-Lab has is a great experience in representation during the years. We were born more than 10 years ago, and we always had dialogue with university, with the offices, etc. So we prefer to put inside the program something that we know that is realistic and not something which is too much impossible to make it happen. So maybe what you called vanilla, we call it realistic.
Great. And now I will ask the same thing to Marco. So have you something to ask, to point out to Francesco and mainly to the team program and team list and team in general?
Yeah, I would ask the same question to you. What do you think it's more disruptive for you, your key points more than ours?
I mean, for some topics, we think that we thought about them in a more thorough way. For instance, all the mental health issues we confronted with psychologists, with professionals of the field. We presented a very detailed report to Professor De Vries. And so I think that for some topics, we did our homework, I would say that, in a more detailed way, so that our proposals could be somehow not plain vanilla, but anyway realistic, because I think that all of our proposals, also by looking at other universities, both from Milan and from other parts of Italy, they are all very realistic and realizable.
Great, thank you. Each one of you wanna add something? You are okay with this? You wanna replay? Okay. So we had no questions for the public, so from the live public. So I think we can say that it's okay. I remind everybody who's live and who's gonna watch it later that we have the Trileoni resume later, and that tomorrow we're gonna go with other debates in next days, actually, till Friday, when we're gonna have the CDA, the main debate. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Francesco. And
thank you.
Good luck. I don't know if
thank you.
I mean, we can say it in English. We can say it.
Exactly.
Have a nice day and stay safe.